Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Morphing Tower podcast. That's right, the Morphing Tower podcast that for some reason's still going. I don't know why. I really don't. I thought when those lawyers came through the door and said, please, you have to stop, that something would have happened by now. But as it turns out, no. I have a memo straight from, this is the IT department. I haven't heard from these guys in a long time. It reads, Dear employees of the Morphing Tower, after a few months of attempting to identify the entity that manifests as a green face comprised of aberrant pixels and asterisks, whose presence is always preceded by a jaunty tune, has yielded no results. It seems that employee accounts of encountering this program contradict each other. Yesterday, someone reported seeing this face on one of the terminal monitors. We're confident that this isn't true. Any further details regarding this strange virus should collect evidence in form of screenshots or recordings so we can verify the veracity of said footage. Sincerely, the IT department. Which, boy, it's so freaking exciting that those guys are still trying to figure out why there is a moving, talking, malevolent face passing through our screensavers when we're just trying to watch 3D pipes. And I'd really like to get back to enjoying that, undisturbed by that creepy face. Well, I have a return guest. As it turns out, today, just when I was at my lowest point, I was so bored. All of a sudden, a similar recording studio floated up the side of the tower and attached itself to the side. Welcome back to the podcast, BlueeKatieBug.
Hi.
This would be a whole lot less awkward if we hadn't jumped onto the back of that strange red creature who started screaming, "Oh yeah!" and then proceeded to smash through a wall. And now, hi. I know you guys from your, Katie, aren't these the people you were telling me about in your podcast episode?
Oh, wait, who did I mention again? The inspiration for my YouTube channel formatting.
Just them? Oh, okay,
Just
cool.
them.
Yeah, well, today I am happy to be joined by Dan and Carrie of PlayFrame. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Well, hello.
Our pleasure. Hang on. Sorry. I'm all right. Sorry, I'm back. I've patched up the wall. We are all good to start. Sorry. What did I miss?
How did you do that quickly?
We have had a lot of practice. When you don't have doors and like when Kool-Aid Manning is your only method of entry into a place, you learn to like move very quickly with the repair work, especially given the cats inside the space that have no sense of self-preservation.
Yep. Very fast with the spackle.
Mm-hmm.
Fast with the spackle. Put that on every profile right now. Fast with the spackle. Normally we, want guests to be comfortable, sit down, have some sort of a bevy ready at a moment's notice. But I noticed that there are quite a few felines on every surface.
Yeah. So that's, you've noticed. Yeah. So like we've had chairs in here for a long time. I don't remember the last time I sat in one because the cats, every time.
Listen, they're very good for sound dampening, is the thing.
True.
The cats?
True. I mean, when they're asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The cats. I mean, both, but the cats, yeah. They're helpful for dampening noise, like room echo, kind of.
True. They do help for that. But then when they are laying down, they like the chairs, and they look very comfortable instantly, and they make you feel incredibly guilty if you dare move them. So I apologize for there not being any seating whatsoever in our place of operation here.
Yeah, feel free to move one if you can.
Yeah, that's on your conscience.
I don't think I have the intestinal fortitude to do that, so I'm just gonna stand. It's like emotional manipulation. There's one, the one right there on the seat directly behind me. Every time I look at the chair longingly, like SpongeBob looking at a glass of water, the look on the cat's face is just so pleading. Like, don't do it.
Yep.
The way they kind of roll, like they're already curled up, but they roll a little more, so their little front paws are in the air, and they look at you like they've been in that chair for 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Impossible.
When they roll out and there's just a perfect cat imprint, that's when you know it was a really comfortable sit there for a while.
Yeah. We've got a lot of practice at this point at recording things in a standing or seated on the floor position, if you can find the floor space. So like you learn to improvise on the fly. The show must go on, as they say.
You guys' calves must be insane.
Not by choice.
Full-blown
Thank you.
Hercules calves by now. Like, absolutely incredible. Well,
This is the life of a YouTuber.
yeah. It's crazy calves. You can only wear shorts because if you flex wrong, just the lower half, you make jorts wherever you go. Intentionally.
Surely this isn't news.
No, it's like the lamest version of Hulk. It's like you just rip through the bottom halves of your jeans, nothing else. I mean, those Hulk's pants have to be pretty wicked insane. Like, Tony Stark must make Hulk's pants. Like, I don't know why. There's always, like, a sequence where somebody makes a suit design, and they're like, oh, we should really make, like, for the Invisible Woman. It's like, we gotta make a suit that disappears when you disappear. For Hulk, it's like, here, I found these at a thrift store. Good luck.
I like your idea that it has required some Stark engineering, though, that Tony's been working on that for years, but the science just isn't there quite yet.
He can make an arc reactor. Tony Stark made these pants in a cave with a box of scraps.
I just think it's comical. It's like, we don't have this on lock yet, so everything else can tear, but just reinforce the top part of the pants. That's all we really need.
No, the Pym particle exists. Mjolnir exists. Asgard exists. Arc reactor, there. Hulk stretchy pants, just not possible, is not in the funding. And boy, it was really awkward when those aliens invaded New York and Hulk was just naked as a jaybird flying through the air, crushing things. It was really bad PR. All right, well, I figured I would pile on to the confusion, which BlueeKatieBug understands that this is my mania, my quest, is to slowly drive my guests insane, unless, of course, they already are, in which case, try me. Time for everyone's favorite part of the show. Guess whether or not this Chuck E. Cheese character is real or fake.
Ooh.
Guys, this is where the music comes in. Help me out. Ba-ba-bam, ba-da-bam, ba-da-bing, ba-da-bam, ba-da-bam, da-da-bam.
Bonk.
That was shockingly close. Considering, like, I don't know what sort of weird tapeworm we've got going on in our brains where I say make up a song and everyone makes the same song, which is like non-copyright, like Price is Right music, but it works, you know? It works. Okay, so staring in front of me, like The Legend of Zelda Faces of Evil, I have a gallery of real Chuck E. Cheese characters, and oh boy, some of these are rough. See, I figured Dan might have a slight leg up, but some of these are so old that I think it's going to level the playing field a bit. Because there's a reason why some of these were left behind. And all I'll say about this is Five Nights at Freddy's got nothing on some of these. Like, nothing. It's not close. These are so much worse. And I can't even tell you why. They're just worse. They are. They're worse. They're just worse. All right.
I'm very excited now.
All right. So I'm going to keep track of scores here. So this is very simple. It's real or fake. All right. So number 1, Krusty, in parentheses, the cat.
No.
Real or fake? If you'd like, I can augment this. I can give you descriptions. It's like asking for the meaning of a word or using a word in a sentence in a spelling bee. You can ask me to describe the nightmare.
I would love to hear a brief description of the most notable traits of Krusty the cat.
Krusty the cat loves sports. He loves sports ball. Don't know which one. He wears a jersey. Lucky number 13. Team name is the Wingers. And he's sort of staring off into space. Like somebody walked into the studio as they were taking his shot for the photo. Is it real, or did I just make all of that up?
I have a horrible suspicion that this one is real.
I'm leaning kind of real as well on that one.
Okay. Carrie, what about you?
I'm going to buck the trend only because lucky number 13.
Interesting. That is bold maneuver, but you know what? Dan and Katie, you both are correct. Krusty the cat is a real character, including the parentheses for no reason. Why is the cat in parentheses? He's the only Krusty on the list. Why the specificity? Why is it necessary? I don't know. It doesn't make his face
really
look any worse. Why? Okay, I'll go ahead and put this nightmare here on the terminal so you can all gaze in horror.
Yeah.
Yay! It's horrible.
I thought it might be a black cat since the unlucky number.
I wish I was right.
All right, well...
This is terrifying.
This is not even... moving on.
I'm not prepared, am I?
No.
Those
No.
ears.
All right. Round 2. The Beagles.
Real.
The determined tone in your voice was so good. You didn't even ask me to describe it.
The Beagles, the Beatles. It's there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that does make a good bit of sense. It does sound like a sort of like side group of characters who show up to feature now and then.
Yeah.
You don't think I could conjure the Beagles? That's the question.
Okay, that's fair.
That's
That is
fair.
fair.
Or am I just trying to make you second guess yourself because of how quickly you answered? That's the
I
mystery.
am definitely going on vibes here and prepared to get every answer wrong because of it.
Okay. All right. I respect it.
I'm still locked in, though.
Okay.
All right.
I want
right.
this to be real.
Okay, you're manifesting the Beagles. That was my first indie band.
I'm manifesting the opposite.
Beagles.
I'm going to put my faith in the Charles Entertainment Cheese Corporation and their responsibility to not bring that sort of thing into the world. I'm going to have faith in them and say that they didn't create a side characters called the Beagles.
Okay, I
Faith
mean,
in
well, you
them or
are
faith
biased.
in their legal team to
Yeah,
avoid the copyright
Yeah, the
infringement.
litigations. You are biased, but I accept that answer. Okay, Katie, what about you? Real or fake? The Beagles. Again, it's crazy. None of you have asked me to describe the Beagles. Nobody. Like, what if I did make this up and I wrote like a detailed description of what the Beagles were? Mightn't I want somebody to inquire as to the likeness?
I'll take that. I'd like more description, please, if I dare.
So the Beagles, believe it or not, is crazy. You're never gonna guess. They're 4 dogs that have 70s style haircuts and are very clearly supposed to be the Beatles.
This is sounding plausible, actually. I'm going to still say no, but this is sounding increasingly plausible with your description. I'm upset.
I could have written it down. You never know, Katie.
True.
I have one more question then. Do you know off the top of your head the year that Chuck E. Cheese was founded?
Off the top of my head?
I was kind of wondering about that.
Hold on. We are looking. Let me pull it up on the terminal. Ba-ba-bum. Thank you, Wikipedia. May of 1977.
That's somehow both older and newer than I thought it would be. I figured it was the 80s or the 60s.
This is a good point. It feels like it has to be from either decade and not the late 90s. I am going to go with these are real.
Congratulations, Carrie and Katie. The Beagles are real.
Oh, no.
They're real.
I've lost in 2
I
ways.
see photos.
They're real and they suck. Moving on.
Oh.
Wonder why their band broke up.
Oh, incredible.
It was the new character that they included, Yoko. Oh, no.
God, that is there's no way that joke doesn't feature in one of their little segments at some point.
Okay, here we go. Round 3. Rose Raccoon.
Ooh.
See, they get you with the alliterations. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So many of these things are alliterative. They just they just pull random names and random descriptors, and they just make it work.
I would love a description of Rose Raccoon, because I don't have a gut instinct yet.
Oh man, how do I describe? How shall I describe thee, Rose Raccoon? With what words shall I weave?
A rose by any other name.
I guess the podcast's done, I guess. It can't get better or funnier or wittier than that.
It's good to know when to go out on top.
Yeah, you gotta leave them on a high, mid-game. So, Rose Raccoon is wearing what I'm sure was supposed to be some sort of dress. But the material looks like a potato sack. And Rose Raccoon has big old sunglasses on.
Okay.
And they are reflecting light like heaven itself is bursting forth from her face. She's under some hot lights, and you can really tell. Real or fake, Rose Raccoon?
The alliteration is compelling, but I vote fake.
All right. Well, okay. That was, ironically, what the judges on stage said about the lyrics to my first single, as Manifesting the Beagles said we like the alliteration, but it's going to be a big old fat no from us. And I shook the dust off my feet, and here I am, a success.
The alliteration is too compelling. I have to say real.
The specificity.
It's an R. Rosie, Raccoon, real.
Wow.
It maths.
It just makes sense.
Yeah. The math is there, I think. I'm very good at math.
The specificity of the sunglasses thing really did like that. Like if you conjured that one on your own, then I give you full points for fooling me. Then because
so you're saying
that
real?
feels that I'm gonna say like it's with a heavy heart that I believe that that's a real thing.
With a heavy heart, I must inform you that Katie's correct. I made it up.
Oh, that's a
Heck
relief.
yes.
This next one, it's a doozy. It's a big old doozy. You ready? Here
I'm
it
ready.
is. The Warblets and Mopsy sisters.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. Because every once in a while, Chuck E. Cheese would probably do an extra dose of whatever you did in 1977 and would create attractions that were like multiple characters together, like the Beagles. But they did this a lot. They would just make a series of characters together and sort of ship them as one group or one thing, right? So yeah, the Warblets and the Mopsy sisters. And I can explain what that is.
Are these two separate groups? Or is
They're
this like...
booked as one group, but the Warblets have top billing.
Oh. Interesting. Not the way I thought it would go.
Are these animal creatures? Are they humanoid?
How upset would you be if I told you that it was just like 5 ladies wearing normal dresses? Don't worry, it's not that. No. These are birds.
That would be wild.
That just like completely disappoint the children. Real or fake? The Warblets and the Mopsy sisters.
How many Warblets are there?
All right. I don't know how to say this. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Am I doing this as a clever smoke screen? There could be hundreds of Warblets and only 2 Mopsy sisters. There have to be at least 2 Mopsy sisters. You were talking about math earlier? I can do this one. There have to be at least 2 Mopsy sisters. There might be more. But the Warblets, I don't know.
You make this tough for us.
I'm going to say fake, if only for like the number of different, like unless the Warblets were just like a bunch of tiny little birds that just sort of like the extent of their animatronics was like popping up and like in and out of eggs or something very, very simple.
like a heat miser and snow miser situation where they're just sort of dancing across the floor, little birds with jaunty straw hats and canes.
Effectively, or kind of like the the tiki room in Disneyland, where it's just like birds that are in place and don't move a whole lot, but you just see like their mouths opening and just going up and down. Something simple.
Saddest animatronics. They're just like on string, like mobiles from the ceiling, just going in circles the whole time.
Yeah, there's like 2 moving parts at most.
That's why, the moving parts are a finger and an on switch to a fan. And that's why the Warblettes have top billing, because the Mopsy sisters are just on a string. That's pretty sad.
I'm going to say fake, just guessing at the practicalities of a potentially large number, an unknown number of Warblette animatronics.
And that was my second indie band that didn't get off the ground. All right.
Solid name, though. Not for lack of name.
Well, it was a bit wordy. An indeterminate number of Warblettes was probably, I could have trimmed it down a little bit. The judges, they were like, we love your performance, but your band name is terrible. So get out.
See, the thing is, it's both a disadvantage and an advantage knowing you a little bit from being in the tower together for some time now.
She knows too much. She's played Repo with me. She's played Minecraft with me. She's seen behind the curtain and seen the wizard. And so now she's like, anything's possible. Which I don't even mean to put that mind parasite there, but it does work in my advantage now.
Something about the undefined number of Warblettes sounds very much like something you would come up with.
You're saying you think me, Max J. Shivington, that's not my middle initial, would come up with something like that? You think I'd do that?
I would not put it past you.
I am hurt. And you know what? You don't get a point. Carrie gets a point. Because the Warblettes and Mopsy sisters are real.
No way.
I'm going to show you the picture. This is why I don't know how many of them there are. There's only 3 in the picture.
Oh.
I see. Wow. Yeah, that's... Huh.
It's the Warblettes and the Mopsy sisters, but there's only 3. Is one of them a figment of their imagination? How does this work?
Did they change band names partway through? Like,
one of them is a Mopsy sister, but not a Warblette.
Huh.
It's an unnecessarily complicated... If you remove... How many Warblettes do you have to remove? And how many Mopsy sisters do you have to remove? And then you add them to a different group. Will they form the Warblettes and Mopsy sisters as long as you have 2 of each?
The Warblettes and the Mopsy sisters are inevitable, and they will always form. That's just a rule of nature.
That's what I tried changing the name of my indie band to, and that also didn't work.
Hang on, sorry, I was just like checking through the terminal real fast. I think they are the Warblettes and they are the Mopsy sisters. I think their design changed at one point, but the animatronic remains. So it's 3. It's 3. It's a group of 3 in both cases.
So they're both.
So they are both, and they're in motion. They are much, much worse than in a still image.
I think, okay, Dan, you worked at this place. You know that's true for all of them. What do you mean? Of course a moving version's gonna be worse than one standing there dead than one mimicking life.
But for the grace of God, I worked there in the late 90s, early 2000s, where animatronic technology was still horrifyingly bad, but has come a very long way from the 80s, 70s, 80s era, where it legit does look Five Nights at Freddy's to the extreme.
It's just so baffling where anybody greenlit any of these, where they were like, for kids? Yeah.
For children, yeah.
Put it out there.
Those eyes.
Yeah. So what eyes do we have in stock? Do we have human pupil eyes that we can put in there? Yeah, we got so many of those, but they're big and unblinking. Say less. Brilliant. What could go wrong? Yeah.
I really took the Beagles for granted.
Yeah. All right. There's so many horrific ones. Okay, this will be the last round. All right. Tom Tom, real or fake?
That's the full name.
Tom Tom, No unnecessary parenthesis on this, even though there should be.
Tom parentheses Tom.
Tom parentheses Thomas.
Yes.
His proper Christian name, you know? You gotta get it right. It's on the birth certificate. Say it right.
This sounds like the drummer of the band. Like, that sounds like what they would name the drummer of the band.
What a strange thing for you to say.
It's a pretty safe bet with these sort of things. Like, what would your first idea and impulse be? That's definitely what they went with.
What do you think his bandmates are? Snare, bass, kick?
I believe it's pronounced basse.
Yeah,
Basse, of course.
Basse! Yeah. He was
It's
European.
not how you spell bass, is it? Ooh.
Their counterpart,
Oh, well.
Bossa Nova.
Yeah, that's their manager. They called him the Bossa Nova. There was a bass player, but he was a bass, which just made things really confusing for no reason. It was
Hey, gang, it's me, Boss Novo. I need you like doing great out there, but the kids do not tip well. We got to find better gigs.
Hey, yo, my name's Boss Nova. I'm a bass that plays the bass, and I'm also your boss. Man, I hope our franchise doesn't go up in smoke. What's that? 3D animation? Oh no!
I'm gonna need a description on Tom Tom.
All right, this is
Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna do my best. Okay.
Okay.
With a lot of these animatronics, there is like with the alliteration, you can clearly tell what the creatures are supposed to be, right? Even down to the unnecessarily grotesque human characters, which those exist, and they suck. Like Pasquale, who is just a human chef puppet, and it's the worst.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, you probably repressed that one. Tom, I think that it's a spider, or it's it's either a spider or the world's hairiest octopus. And it does, in fact, play the drums using all of its arms.
Yep.
But it's so difficult to tell because the washed out grainy nature of the photo, it looks like the photo quality that you would see watching like a scary documentary about like an unsolved murder. And it's like an interior photo of the house from the 70s. It's just oozing with 70s.
Yeah, I believe this. I'm saying yes.
I have to agree. This is I wish it were not, but this is too specific and horrifying.
Man.
Carrie?
Yeah, this is too compelling. I need it to be true.
Okay.
I hate it, but I need it. Both are
All
true.
right.
Yes.
Well, all of you can go pick up your checks from the Max Bank because I made it up.
No way!
That is such a relief.
That means there's no photo.
To be perfectly fair, I did put down Tom and in parentheses underneath put a bass playing cat. But when you were like, oh, that's a drum player, I was like, yes. Drums, yes. Yes, Tom.
I've never been
plays the drums.
so happy to get a question wrong.
Well, by some strange miracle or curse, Katie, you won with 3 points. Carrie, you in second. And Dan, man, I thought since you worked there that you were going to really just pull ahead. But, you know.
Yeah, you'd think.
You
think
were the chosen one.
you were.
Yeah, no, I was inside too long. I was just too brainwashed by working there.
The programming kicked back in.
I was in the joint too long. I shared a cell with Bossa Nova, the boss bass playing bass. That's actually really hard to keep all those straight, saying them in a line. It's really hard. It's very hard. Well, all right. Well, that's the game. That's the game. So,
It was a good game
Heck
well,
yes.
I'm glad.
about bad things.
Yeah, about just dreadful things. In fact, matter of fact, I'm just going to pull up in the terminal for your own perusal. And so you see the abominations that I'm working with. There are some rough ones on there. Just so bad.
That'll be a good time.
I think my least favorite are the 4 little shavers, which seem straight up out of a horror movie.
The what?
They're barbers and like a barbershop
Oh.
quartet. But they were
That's
like,
the humanoid we didn't want.
yep. that's what the human robots look like, and it's just as bad as you'd imagine.
I can hear the Sondheim. Like that's so Sweeney Todd. I can't.
God, Four Little Shavers is the worst
razor.
name they could have come up with.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Well,
Not great.
Wow.
let's climb ourselves out of the absolute sludge of that game. So now I can get into just sort of the backstory on why this is happening. So I found BlueeKatieBug's channel on YouTube because every once in a while, and it's not super often, YouTube will actually recommend something that I want to watch. And it recommended me BlueeKatieBug's channel. I started watching her playthrough of Super Mario Galaxy. And I was immediately hooked. I was like, this person's really nice, and I hope nothing but success for this person. Started watching videos. Then I was like, what the heck is Marble Mania? And why are they playing it? I love the fact that they're just playing random stuff, and they're not playing, like, the biggest, they're just playing whatever they want, very clearly, based on their feed. And I was like, that's a channel I want to support. And so I did what I do, which is I reach out to people, and every once in a blue moon, people get back with me, but I never expect a yes. So BlueeKatieBug, I was thrilled that she was willing to be on. And in our conversations, since we both create gaming content online, she cited y'all's channel as the reason why she got into Let's Plays.
Aww.
And she hyped y'all up, and it was the longer she started talking about it, like, dang. Like, if these people are like the prototype for BlueeKatieBug's channel, like, that's something I should definitely look into. And fast forward, like a year later, I was like, I should probably figure out who I'm going to talk to next. And then I was like, if PlayFrame is like anything the way that BlueeKatieBug has described them, I was like, they'd probably make pretty dang good guests to have on. So you have BlueeKatieBug to thank for that happening at all.
I first found your channel, it was almost 5 years ago. I was looking for someone who was playing Kingdom Hearts because I was very intrigued about the idea of a Nomura game with Disney characters. And,
Understandably, yeah.
Yes. Not that cleared anything up for me after watching every video of your entire series of playthroughs. But I do love your style, and years after the fact, when I started to think about starting a YouTube channel of my own and a Let's Play channel, I thought there was no better model. So I hope you guys don't mind. Of course, the priority is always to create my own original product, but there are definitely a lot of elements that I do admire that I wanted to incorporate on my own. You guys do a great job.
No, that is incredibly flattering. Thank you. And that, I no shame whatsoever in taking influence. Like, what we do is also the result of a just bunch of different influences of stuff of like creators I watched making either Let's Plays or other things. And like
down to our audio video syncs that we do at the start of each episode are directly taken from Barry Kramer, right?
Yeah, it's just sort of, I think it was a thing that like I heard like Game Grumps, another like larger Let's Play channel,
and
like,
we stole his time sync.
Yeah, like I don't know if Barry was the one who like came up with the time sync thing, but yeah, no, we were like just building upon influences and adding our own thing too. So like it sounds very much the same as like what you are doing, and it is incredibly flattering being that point of like influence, inspiration for someone else's creative thing. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Have to admit, my entire life, I thought that Kingdom Hearts was Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy was Kingdom Hearts. So when people would be like, oh yeah, I just played Final Fantasy, I was like, oh yeah, so like Mickey? And they were like, no. I was like, but Mickey and Goofy and Donald, I know Final Fantasy. And they're like, no.
You're not so far off.
So that's a full circle moment because I've watched BlueeKatieBug play through. It's just Kingdom Hearts, right? Just like the main game.
This is true. I did do the first Kingdom Hearts.
And that was a lot of fun. The crazy thing within the past probably 4 or 5 days is prior to everything getting recorded, I was like, I should probably like watch like a playthrough of their channel so that way I can actually have something to speak on in terms of what they do creatively. And I was scrolling down through the playlist of games, and 40 hours later, after scrolling all the way down, I saw Overcooked 2. And fate was smiling upon me, because when I started watching it, the only reason why I wanted to watch you guys play it was because I watched BlueeKatieBug play it with her husband.
Aww.
They played some of Overcooked, and I was like, I've seen 2 people play that before. It's really, really funny. Let me check this out. And the first episode starts with Carrie getting, like, introduced to being in a video. Like,
was that the first
Oh my
one?
gosh,
Wow, I
was
bet it
that
was.
it?
pure happenstance of all of the games that I picked, of all the videos and all the playlists. The first one I picked is the one where Dan was describing, yes, this is Carrie of the pink text. I didn't know what that meant because I hadn't seen any of your other videos yet. But then, like, after I watched that whole playthrough, which, by the way, gave me life, freaking phenomenal, just so many laughs all the way through.
Yes.
But then I started watching Dan play through Hollow Knight. And
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
then I would get the pink text stuff. I was like, that's Carrie! I was like, I get it now, it's her. And what was crazy is, after hearing the back and forth and the banter, I could hear those text frames as Carrie saying it. I was like, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it also, like, that's another thing that I've witnessed in BlueeKatieBug's videos, where there's, like, I have so much respect for minimalist editing when it comes to gameplay. Some videos or some styles of videos, like the stuff that you do on PlayFrame Plus, like, there are some projects where it cannot exist without a great deal of editing. However, when it comes to Let's Plays and making video game videos, I have a hard time with the concept of, like, if your Let's Play cannot be ingested or cannot be entertaining without overloading the video with edits, be it memes, zooms, text, effects, just constant. Maybe that's just more shifted towards the younger audience. That very well might be. Maybe it's literally just younger minds need that constant cranial stimulation. I don't. When I'm watching somebody play through a game, I want it to feel like I'm sitting on the couch next to them watching them play a game. And if there's a sequence where they cut to something or you fast forward, that's fine. That's totally fine. So I have so much respect for the editing that Carrie did on Hollow Knight, what I've seen so far, even though, Dan, I do blame you for the freaking PTSD that I am now experienced watching you go through Deep Nest and freaking hate it. Hate
It's a lot of bad
it.
sounds.
As soon as you started getting down into that area, in the sewers, I was like, oh, frick, oh no. And then, of course, all the funny frames of, like, Carrie being like, I hate these sounds, too. I have to hear them, too. 'Cause that's the other thing about editing that I try to explain. I've done some editing for clients and stuff, some podcast editing. And what I have to explain to these people is, like, when I'm editing your thing, I am active listening. Like, because people would come back to me and be like, why does it take you so long to edit something? Like, 3 times as long. I was like, I am actively listening to what's going on. And when I hear something that can be clipped out, I have to stop, cut, delete, move, and then make sure that, it fades right so you don't notice a cut.
Yeah.
Because that's my goal. I don't want people to know that this has been edited at all. Like, if in an audio format. But people don't understand. It's like you have to rewatch all that footage and pay close attention. You cannot space off. You can't do something else at the same time because you will invariably miss something. It'll just happen.
The wildest part about spending years editing Daniel's audio is that I am now at a place where he occasionally makes sounds, or if I'm in the wrong headspace, I will be listening to him talk in real life and feel the compulsion to edit.
Just
Understandable.
I'll be like, oh, I have to cut that out. No, I don't. This is real life. Calm down.
Edit Dan in real life. So let me make a couple
So
edits
good.
there. Just cut.
But it's like, yeah, you do always. I remember this from like back in university when I was in drama department and not on stage, and the whole idea of so many backstage roles is that if you're doing your job right, no one noticed.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
love that. That's where I live.
It's like American football. Like when the center snaps the ball, you don't even notice that they're there until they mess up. You don't even think about
Totally.
all the work that they do. Oh my gosh, Katie, this is getting out of hand because Katie would not volunteer this information, but I am because I'm a traitor. She was in theater. She did theater stuff. She was in a production of Phantom of the Opera that she told me about
cool.
on the podcast.
I might have listened to the episode. The
Yeah.
the last time you visited, Katie, I might have listened to that. And at one point I stopped and I was like, her voice is so good. She's just got such a... And then the theater bit came out and I stopped again. And I'm like, Daniel, she was a theater kid.
A theater kid all the way.
I know why her voice is so good now.
She can't hide it. We'll be playing a game that is not conducive to that at all, and she'll just start humming. I don't think I've ever met another person who hums in tune before, but Katie hums in tune. Or like, you know, we did like an Animal Crossing collab, and she'll just sort of lapse into a little do-do-do. It's just like, okay, all right, show off. Get up. Singing voice.
Yeah, no, like you could tell it in listening though, because like there's lots of people, especially like if they're earlier on in doing a Let's Play or just any kind of Let's Plays, especially because you're usually more mentally distracted. But there's lots of people who don't have a kind of mic discipline, not just mic discipline of staying in front of the mic and speaking clearly into it, but projecting enough to like clearly come through and making sure their voice is sounding clear and as just nice and pleasant and like intentionally. I think it takes a lot of people time to sort of develop the ear for that and the presence of mind to do that subconsciously while also trying to play a thing. And like the fact that you were like I could hear just in your podcasting and in your stuff that like no, she's got that really well really quickly in her early stuff.
Right.
Like it makes a lot of sense that there's theater background there.
That's so nice. Thank you.
I had to go to voice therapy when I was a child.
Oh, yeah?
Because not because it was like, oh, our freaking 5-star opera singer, our poor baby, oh no, his career. No, I would laugh, scream, and shout so much at sleepovers. The next day I'd have no voice left. So they took me to the doctor, and I had calluses on my vocal cords.
Whoa.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Ouch.
gosh.
So I had to go to voice therapy for like 9 months, just like every week. And
Whoa.
I remember her name. Her name was Mrs. Swanson. And I'd go to her house and we'd do the vocal exercises. And it had a lot to do with like projecting your voice, not straining your voice. And I remember I'd get to drink. She had flavored water in her fridge. I would always get cherry. And she had a couple kids who were off at school. And I would hop onto their computer and play like a Tonka truck game on their PC while I was waiting for my mom to get back. It was a sick thing. I was like, oh, I'm going to voice therapy. Oh, poor me. I'm over here with my freaking flavored water playing Tonka truck games on the computer. This is the best day ever.
So I've got to know then, since 3 of the 4 of us do have a bit of theater background. Dan, you have a lovely speaking voice. Are you also in this club? Were you a theater kid?
Sort of, basically, yeah. Like I was not in, like I was in a tiny little like private Christian school that was not at a scale to be putting on productions of any kind, but I did like participate in such things when they were available. I was also a drama major in university along with Carrie because that's where the little tiny fledgling CG digital media department was. So I was usually just like running like soundboards and stuff like that for any productions I was involved in, but I was close enough to it and also like helping out with like church bands and things like that. And so I was close enough to music and audio and theater stuff frequently enough that with a bit of practice, also reading like a million scripts into into a microphone over the years helped me to develop a little bit of voice discipline, though I think some formal training would not hurt at some point.
So cool, though.
So you guys went to the same university?
We went to
did.
the same high school
Yeah.
for the last 3 years of it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we're high school sweethearts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You wholesome people make me sick.
You're hanging in there very well for like an hour of exposure to very wholesome people.
Yeah, no, trust me. I am aware. I am surrounded on all four sides by some of the most wholesome human beings I've ever interacted with, which is awesome.
And of course all the cats.
Yeah, and
course.
all the cats,
Yeah.
which they get a pass. Whatever. They're in proximity to the wholesomeness. I feel like they get a pass.
Yeah.
Something that Katie wanted to ask that I also had written down that I was like, this would be a good question. Because when I have people on, I want to give people a chance to talk about their passions and what they create and everything. So I guess the question, simply put, is how did you guys get into making videos?
Ugh.
Mm.
Oh man.
How did that start? Okay, so like my first endeavors doing anything video making were class projects. I'm trying to think if there was anything earlier than that. I don't think so. Class
wasn't.
projects for university where I had to do a research thesis and give an oral presentation for that like research thesis. And I didn't want to have to like throw together a PowerPoint and manage to like practice live presenting a thing in front of a classroom. So instead I made a 10-minute video effectively giving that presentation, sort of loosely in the style of like Zero Punctuation had just taken off and was really starting to blow up on the internet at that point. So I loosely modeled it after that. And that was sort of the early predecessor prototype for Extra Credits, which was a series that eventually turned into and grew into a whole big team thing, making just a regular weekly series about the craft and design and development of video games and just kind of how they're made, which we ran for a long time. We expanded into doing other kinds of series. Like we had another series called Extra History about world history, sort of told with our little like doodle characters. Extra sci-fi, like a series about science fiction history.
Yep.
And so and I've basically been making videos nonstop kind of since then, since that early
Since
university, 2008, I think. 2008, I started making videos and I've just kind of been consistently doing it on the side ever since, while also just having a day job.
See, here's my thing about that, because I don't know, based on where you are, what pocket of the internet you're on, the metric for some people when it comes to making videos would be, I want this to be my job, right? And that would be the badge of honor, is I finally made it to a place where I no longer have to work. I can just do this thing. But I feel like a lot of those people very quickly realize that when that becomes your job, like your actual real job, how much work it really takes to remain relevant in that space. If that is solely what you're committed to, every spare moment is time when you could or should be making money to support yourself. So it's like no shade thrown at the people who manage to do it, but I guess I have more respect for people who create what they create in spite of the fact that they are also working a job, you know? Because it's like, that is so much work. And as somebody who intakes and enjoys that art, there's no expectation from me that they must upload videos. They need to be making stuff, you know? It's like, that's not the relationship that a viewer has. Like, that's unreasonable. So the fact that you create as a choice out of passion for what you do, I think speaks volumes about you guys in terms of just like as creatives.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, like I have for pretty much since 2008, for the most part, always been doing this video making as a side gig in some capacity, and for various reasons. Like at first I was I had no expectation that video making was going to be something that could actually be a actual day job. So, and I was pretty excited about the career I was pursuing anyway. So I was just.
I mean, 2008 is not that long after YouTube got started.
Yeah, and YouTube had barely gotten started. So, like, it really was not a.
There wasn't a lot of people ahead of us who had made it.
It was not a widely
job.
viable career.
Dan actually uploaded the first video to YouTube. It said, "Me at the Chuck E. Cheese."
Me with the Beagles.
It's true. Look how far YouTube has come since then.
Yeah, wow.
Good for them.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for YouTube, Dan.
And, like, you bet. No, I'm happy to provide.
It's a great
pass something on to the next generation.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry for all the YouTube stuff, by the way.
Oh, yeah, well, I figured it's all somebody else's fault by this point. You know, you get the ball rolling. Somebody else is supposed to do something about it.
But yeah, like, I make no mistake, I am very jealous of all my like fellow creators who are able to commit their full time and energy to video making and release stuff more frequently and release big projects more frequently. I envy that and would someday kind of love to do that. But I think it has been nice having the relative security of a day job, the flexibility to not like have to take on sponsors and be really like mercenary with our sort of like a financial approach to creating videos. It's been also nice, like, since I usually make videos about the craft of video games, the fact that I've been working in video games for many years has like provided a lot of insight to be able to speak from experience on that. Like, there's a lot that having the day job on the side has provided that I am grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fun that this is something we can just share and do kind of together.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to bear the full weight of our livelihood.
That's true. It's nice that you and I can have this kind of like, it is a thing that generates income for sure. And like, if we could do it as our full career someday, then sure, that could be fun. But it is nice having it as just like a passion project that we just work on.
Yeah. There's some freedom there because of it.
I'm curious to hear. So, like, Katie, how long have you been like running your channel at this point?
Next week will be 2 years, so
Heck yeah,
very
congrats.
young still. Thank you.
Dang.
Now, 2 years is like, in YouTube years, that's like you've
10
been doing
years.
this for, yeah.
Yeah.
You're a veteran.
It feels like a while.
What is your like favorite playthrough you have done?
Oh man,
Ooh.
it's hard to say. Super Mario Galaxy really genuinely was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But going back now, of course, it's so young that I'll only get about 2 minutes into the first episode when I'm feeling nostalgic and thinking, oh, I wonder how I went about that 2 whole years ago. And then I'm like, oh, my audio quality is so bad. Turn it off.
Relatable, yeah.
Not that it's much better now.
It would have been criminal if you didn't play that game. And I don't know how else to describe it other than that's just one of those games that's so coded towards you that it would have been a shame if that playthrough hadn't have happened.
Oh, thanks. Well, I mean, honest to goodness, that game did inspire a lot of the aesthetic direction that I continued to follow with the channel. I have a lot of motifs of this dark blue and stars and even the
Ooh, yeah.
my YouTube channel on the homepage.
Yeah. Like the banner.
The banner, thank you. That has a blur in the background of the Comet Observatory from Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh,
Yay. Good pick.
Yeah, so that may take the cake as my favorite playthrough so far. I've been wondering what you guys would consider your favorite playthrough, though.
Whew.
You only have, what, like 5 trillion to pick from?
Been doing it for a bit, yeah.
One of your favorite.
Yeah, some of the top favorites that you guys played through.
I'm going to show some bias here. The presence of the cats in the room might also indicate this bias. I think my 2 favorite Let's Plays I can think of in the moment, Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
Because of
That one was so good.
the stories, the lessons that game has to teach people. At least the lessons that we took from it. Yeah. That game meaningfully affected the way that we viewed cat ownership as our first kitties got older and started facing health issues. And we realized we were facing kind of end of life times with them. So that game is incredibly important to me, and I happen to play a cat character in it, so that's where the bias part comes in.
Yeah.
My favorite that was just me playing is definitely Little Kitty Big City.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where I am also playing a cat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe biased. But it's just so fun and chaotic and exploratory and silly and, yeah.
Did you play a cat in parentheses or just a cat? Which was it?
A cat in parentheses cat.
Ah, okay. That's just really confusing now.
I'm just trying to cover all the bases.
Yeah, that's
at
good.
this point.
Good. Very good.
How about you, Daniel?
It is a tough pick. I think like the one that is probably most significant to me is probably the Hollow Knight playthrough, in part because it was just a game I'd never played before and now adore, just one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
And it was just very special to me, but also it was kind of like a turning point for the channel as well. It was definitely like the most popular playthrough we had done on the channel. Like it still is to this day, and it like so like, I don't know how many people who watch PlayFrame are aware of this, but like when the channel was originally started, it was an offshoot of the channel that at the time we were still a part of, like that we created before Extra Credits. We felt like, okay, having Let's Play videos also coming out alongside all of our like educational short form videos feels weird. We should create a different channel to put all this stuff on.
No way. So PlayFrame is a spin-off channel. No kidding.
It is, yeah.
Wow.
It was originally called Extra Play, and so for the first year or two, it was just a place where anytime I wanted to try doing Let's Play stuff or record some stuff with other people who were part of Extra Credits, or occasionally just with other game industry people I knew to bring them in to talk about their area of expertise, like it was just a channel called Extra Play. And then when we left Extra Credits, Extra Play was really my side project the whole time anyway, so I just sort of took that with me. We rebranded it as PlayFrame, pretty significantly changed kind of the branding look and just generally like the overall vibe and kind of tone of it as well.
Yeah, so it stands on its own that way. Yeah.
Yeah. But because Extra Credits was a very big channel, so when we made a side offshoot Let's Play thing, it unfairly got a lot of subscribers very early on. Just lots of people who were fans of the other thing who also wanted to see us play video games. When we took Extra Play with us and made it into PlayFrame, into its own thing, for a long while, for a good year or so, like our subscriber count was just mostly just going down steadily because, like, understandably, it was a fundamentally different channel now. It was like there were lots of people who were interested in it for being one thing. Now it wasn't that thing. Understandable that they would move on. But Hollow Knight, in addition to being like one of my new favorite games and one that people enjoyed a lot and where I feel like we really kind of found like an element of kind of our vibe and energy that PlayFrame still has today, is also the point where like that playthrough brought in enough people who were enjoying watching it that like that is the point where the just long slow decline of subscriber count stopped and turned around to being like starting to gain. And that for me felt just all the more like validating. It's like, oh good, I was hoping this was going to turn around at some point. It would have been fine if it didn't, but this is a relief.
I think it's telling that Hollow Knight is the first game where you kind of opened up and you let the silly part of you that usually only I saw. You let some of that out, and you started doing like a little bit of the silliness that I knew that I was around all the time, but that no one else got to see because you were usually doing like serious Let's Play.
Yeah.
And
I was much more self-conscious about it. Yeah.
And that's the first game you loosened up in.
Yeah, agreed.
And people responded to it.
You're one to talk, Carrie. Some of my favorite moments from the Overcooked playthrough are my favorite. I think my favorite moment from the entire series. I don't remember if it was like the first episode. I think it was the first episode. Is like a good ways into the episode. You're doing the bit where you're driving the van into nowhere, pulling away from like the objective. And there is a split moment where you go, oh crap, we're like recording. We're recording, we're making a video right now. That was like the most hilarious, most wholesome, just like she legitimately forgot that she was in a video, that he was like trying to get to an objective. I was like, this means that this is the sort of stuff that they would be doing when it's not recording. And that's what makes your channel so good.
Aw.
I have had to learn to channel that that gremlin energy.
Yeah.
So I'm very tuned into his reactions. And when I push him too far, I'm like, oh no. I've got to dial it back.
I'm losing the room.
And the line is here, right now. I'm going to fly as close to that sun with my wax wings as humanly possible, but then no more.
Exactly.
Exactly, yes.
But no, it is easy to forget what you're doing when you're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
But yeah, it brought a genuineness, I think, out in that Hollow Knight series.
Yeah.
That kind of subtly shifted how we handled the rest of the episodes that have come out since.
I think so. That's where I got more comfortable doing character voices when reading stuff too. Like I was pretty self-conscious about that for a lot of playthroughs for a while, but like actually trying to imitate the way characters sound a little bit and actually read them a little bit more dramatically as if I was like reading a bedtime story to someone or something. Like it's a weird way to put it, but I don't know. I started loosening up a lot more, getting more confident.
I'm picking up on that in the playthrough. I think I'm on like episode 22 or so of the main Hollow Knight.
Watched a lot of our stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Thank you.
I've had it running while there's a game called Terra Nil that I was trying to 100%, so I had that open on one side and I was watching you play Hollow Knight on the other. And yeah, the character voices, I mentioned that because, you know, I played D&D and I had a session today where I only had two characters my one player was interacting with. One had like an Irish accent and the other person had like a posh British accent. I could barely handle two. Where like I'm trying to like swap back and forth between this elf and this dwarf, and I'm just like fumbling in between sometimes, or all of a sudden the dwarf starts talking like the British guy. I was like, stop it.
It's not easy.
Like, no, you get stuck on an accent, it just sticks. I don't know if you guys have played D&D before, but one of the craziest things is like when you're prepping a new character, like a new player character, like you've practiced it, maybe you've monologued in their voice to yourself. You're like, okay, this is what they're going to sound like. And then, like, when the mic is hot and the bright lights are on and you step into the spotlight and it just comes out completely different from how you practiced
100%,
it. And you're just like, well, darn. Guess this is my character voice now forever.
Oh, boy. Yep. Yep.
It's like when
relatable. Yes.
When Dipper from Gravity Falls drinks the voice-changing potion, lowers his voice. I sound awesome.
Yes.
Sound awesome. And then, like, Seuss is hitting him over the head with a broom. Kill it! Kill it! It's just like, that's how I feel half the time with how the character voices come out. It's just like, that's not how that was supposed to sound at all. Guess we're not doing British at all. All right, guess we're doing deep, gravelly cowboy for some reason. Well, before we close here, we're going to wind down, but I have a question for, I guess, both of you. I'm trying to remember. No. I remember. Katie, you answered this question, so I'm going to ask the same one, because it's one of my favorite questions to ask guests. If you could take yourselves and a small contingent, let's say no more than 5 people, to a location that was completely emptied out of people for a whole 24 hours, and you just had a run of a place. You could just explore, go wherever you want, spend the night there, literally any location. What would that place be?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
It's weird because for me, there's like an infinite list. I don't know why, but
yeah, that's the problem.
I'll see any old building and be like, dude, if I just had 24 hours to just walk around this place, if I could have a Nerf battle in this building at night and nobody else was here, I'd do it.
So I didn't get to do this, but years ago, people, before I knew them, people that I now am friends with, they did an overnight stay at the Vancouver Aquarium.
What?
That's cool.
Yeah, like how school trips sometimes go, and like the kids sleep over in the aquarium thing. Yeah, they just rented it for like their adult friend group, and they went and stayed overnight in the aquarium.
That's so cool.
I feel like it's cheating because like it's literally been done. But I kind of want to do that.
No, but it's different because like if you had the whole thing, to yourselves.
Yeah.
Just you and your 5 friends. I feel like an aquarium, like a huge aquarium. Like, imagine a game of hide and seek in there. That would be freaking awesome.
Right?
Yo.
Yeah.
Like, there are seals in there, and they can't stop me from petting them.
You can't stop. I'll pet all the seals.
Like, I can just get in there and pet the seals. That would be a terrible idea, but I could do it. I think aquarium is my pull.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I've been bouncing between a few, but I think actually where I've landed on, if I could get into, you wouldn't even have to empty out the people. I think if I could get into literally any Disney theme park after closing hours, just to try to wander around and figure out how everything is like where all the behind the scenes are.
Okay, Daniel, how much of Katie's last visit did you actually listen to?
I did not listen far enough to realize I might have just said the exact same thing.
Theater kid.
There is
Point and laugh.
whole-
Theater kid. Theater kid.
There's a whole conversation I want to have about how dark rides and video game cutscenes are the same thing.
Legit, though, this was the exact conversation I was like, for the text, so I can snoop around and see how everything works.
It wasn't even I want to go on the rides when nobody else is there. It's I want to snoop around and see how everything works. The gizmos and gears. The speakers and wires.
There's a
the
lot of
magic
tech.
that makes it happen.
But
Yeah.
maybe it's just a primal thing amongst theater kids. I don't know. Maybe it's in your blood. I don't know. But
I think
That's a good
like
answer.
theater / game designer, like it is such a designed experience that has
Yeah.
had so much thought put into it. I know it ruins a little bit of the magic knowing how it all works, but I'd have to understand how it all works. That's too fascinating.
Though. If you go to Disney World and you're there as they're closing down, they don't put up gates or close off areas. They just start shutting off lights. And that forces people psychologically to move to the exits.
Yeah, and setting up
They
little stands with like little stuff to like that little stuff
Like-
you can buy for like that
those
with
glowing necklaces and stuff. They'll
Yeah.
put a cart.
it forces weak people away.
Weak-minded
But when
people.
Dan's there with his headlamp, like a mining helmet, they can't stop him.
Exactly.
You didn't have to go that hard in the paint and get one of the old-timey ones with the actual candle burning in the little box, but you did it, and I appreciate that. There's a stalactite of wax dripping down from the front, but now it just looks like you're part of the exhibit. So
yeah. And now I know how like the gears of It's a Small World look. So
Yeah.
now I know why these animatronics suck. Oh, wait, I worked at Chuck E. Cheese. I already know. Before we close, why don't you guys go ahead and plug all your stuff? Where can people find you?
sure. So you can find Carrie and I on YouTube on a channel called PlayFrame, where we're putting out one new video at least daily. I've also got another channel called New Frame Plus, where I talk about the craft of video game animation, because game animator is my day job.
And
Where else are we?
in November,
Yeah.
I think it's not the 16th, it's like the 13th this year. I participate every year in a Child's Play charity fundraiser called Desert Bus
Ooh.
for Hope. We spend 24 hours, 7 days a week playing Penn and Teller's Desert Bus and trying to keep people entertained. We've raised money for the Child's Play Charity Foundation, which is a foundation that puts money towards getting video games and educators who can help teach how to use these video games into hospitals and women's shelters, places where kids are not having a good time,
Mhm.
to help them decompress. And
Yeah.
there's actually a ton of research out there about how beneficial that is to have just video games available for kids to let them feel normal and to have joy and to play. And it's a great charity. So
That's
we
awesome.
are ridiculous. And it's Desert Bus for Hope on Twitch. And yeah, it happens in November and we're absurd about it. So
Yeah.
that's my other thing.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again for being willing to be on. Katie, thank you for, I guess, piloting your room back up here again. You might There might be a ticket on the hood of your window or something closed in there, I'm afraid. Weird how you have a wiper on there.
Is this not a parking space?
No, the side of the building 50 floors up, sorry, not a parking spot. You're going to have to go park at another building, sorry. And I'm going to just I guess okay. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Katie, if you lower your shoulder at the same time as me, we're going to charge this wall, okay? You ready?
Try this wall. There's a stud. You're aiming right at a stud.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I always...
The experts.
I am the stud finder. Okay, spin around. Different wall.
There you go.
All right, you ready, Katie? 3,
Ready.
2, 1, charge!
Bye!
Bye.